Good afternoon, all. Paul from CamelbackTrading.org coming to you this Monday afternoon, April 14th. We are looking at window traders market profile of the ES and NQ. So again, this is probably the first time ever, and since I've been trading, that I would say we're one time framing up for 5 days, and I'm calling the daily still balance or up to balance. And that's because Wednesday's high is the real important one. Plain and simple. Okay? The bulls gave it a good shot today with a pretty sizable gap in ES and NQ, and righty gapped higher too, only to fill the gaps, then go trend down, only to take back the trend down. And that's why I told the room the game was over, right? When a lot of times you'll see when each side has their shots, like two boxes. You know, one boxer has a good shot, knocks down the opponent, but he gets up, and vice versa. The other guy knocks his opponent down, but nobody stays down. A lot of times the game ends up being a decision, a boxing match. Well, that's what happened today. We ended up in a 3-3 tie on our checklist sheet. Nobody had an advantage, even with higher value, even with indices higher. We did not see the opening after the opening. And that was with higher value and indices higher, a good part of the day. We go out, righty goes out with just a day's high and low. So does ES and NQ. Now, righty had an inside day, double inside day. How did it fare? Well, we opened with a gap, but we filled that in A. I'm going to say it didn't fare too well. Yeah, we got above it a couple of times. So did NQ. But again, we just end up with a day's highs and low, which tells me if we open up inside of today's ranges, you're going to need your hard hat. You'll be all over the place because there's a price vacuum. There's nothing to hang your hat on. The other thing is, we talk about this a lot. The gap and go is the biggest fallacy in trading, okay? I've never kept a stat on it, but I guarantee you, if you gap and go, whether it's up or down, the majority of the time you're probably losing money. And again, today you did. Balance rules are much more important. And look, for me, we're near balance high, which is Wednesday's high. Because the balance was so huge, we don't have to get that close to it, right? You have to understand, Wednesday's high is a weekly high. The weekly is down. If you're ever going to find sellers, that's where it's going to be, or swing traders. So you might be calling the daily up, and that's fine, but the weekly's down. So if any swing traders are going to come in, it's here. Did they come in this morning after the opening? Possibly. We never saw the opening again. Okay? Now, sadly, I saw the day well and traded it well, but I had one poor long, not because of gap and go, but because I got stubborn when it did pull back. First thing I did, though, I shorted the overnight high because the S and NQ have a penchant for front running them, and I made money on it. And then I made some money on ebb and flow long in A period. But then it kept pulling back, and I still thought they had a good chance to at least go get the overnight high. So I bought it the overnight halfback. I bought it to 144. I added, and lo and behold, it kept going against me, and it turned out to be a decent loss. So even though I didn't gap and go, I still lost money on a long, right? So that wasn't too fun to start. Gave back everything I made and a bunch more. I did nothing in B and C because nothing was happening. I did get the IB low, though, in D period. So that was decent. And then I got the gap fill. No, I'm sorry. I got the overnight low in E on a short, and then got the long on the gap fill. So got a bunch of money back that I was down, but still lost. And then I shut down my regular trading, my own personal platform, because once we get those 3 staple plays, and I didn't think single prints were going to hold. Now, they held longer than I thought. We didn't fill them till high in NQ. ES filled them in H. But I did not think they were going to hold. So then after that, I was short in F period versus single prints. I was short in G period because of that. Then I took the long to stop the one-time framing, which worked nicely. And actually, I'm sorry, I did short G, But I also long G a couple of times and held and made money on it, even though we didn't pop the top. I missed. I did not take the long. Or maybe that was H period. I thought I took the long to stop the one time framing. Maybe not. I forget now. But I did take a long in I to fill the single prints. And then I took a short when we did fill the single prints in I, and both paid me. And then J period, my last trade of the day, took a short at half back, thinking it could be a potential afternoon rally high. I made like 6-7 points on it. And then we started going above it. I said, that's it. I'm not getting involved in this grind. I don't think we're going to go get the highs. I really didn't think, because when you have a gap, and it was a pretty decent gap, and then it fails, and then obviously the trend day down failed, both sides had their chance. So I really didn't think we were going to go make new highs or lows. I would have been a little surprised. So again, I made money on I lost on one other trade. I made money. If I took 10 trades, I made money on 8 of them. But guess what? In my personal account, I lost money. Right? I didn't give it a chance to breathe. Right? With the ranges we've had. We still had a really good range today. $10.50 and ES. NQ is what? 12 or so? So good ranges. The volume definitely slowed down. Although the volume, well, it's just about average right now. So we might do a little bit above average or just about average. Again, I have no problem if you're calling the daily up. I don't. And then we'll go to the charts now. But I do think Wednesday's high is crucial. Okay, that's why I call it at best up to balance. And then on the charts, so here's our monthly. Okay, we're down. We're down on the monthly. It's a nice looking candle for the bulls right now, but we're only halfway through the month. So if we don't get through this balance high, if we don't get through the daily balance high for me and take out the weekly high to go back to balance on the weekly, this stem is not going to hold. So we'll see going forward. The weekly is down right now, okay? And the daily, again, one time framing up for 5 days, but it's inside of Wednesday's range, most of it. So to me, it's still crucial to get it. The 20-day moving average keeps coming down. It's at 548.62. Wednesday's high in SPY. Are you kidding me? It's 548.62. That's amazing. So right now, the 20-day moving average closed exactly at Wednesday's high. Maybe we go test it and get above it tomorrow. All remains to be seen. Hope you had a good day trading. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing to this channel. Enjoy your evening. We'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.